Good afternoon, everyone. We are very, very happy, Lala and I are, to have Erling Strand with us. I was telling Erling that 1 month after he put his observatory on the internet in 1998, he had to remind me what year it was. I was following it on the computers at work. So it's kind of a shame to me that more people in the United States, especially all these scientists, that these pseudoscientists, let me call them, that claims you always need repeatable phenomena in order to do science. Since the 1990s, Hessdalen has been a repeatable thing in Norway, and this observatory has been there a long time. And I am really happy to have Erling on. Lala and Erling and I have been Facebook friends for a while, and this is just kind of the first opportunity to have Erling on so he can tell us what he can tell us about the Hessdalen phenomenon and the Hessdalen project.
And anything else.
And anything else he wants to tell us about, including his history. So Erling, why don't you start us off with tell our audience who you are and how you got into all of this.
Yes, I would like to do that. I would thank you also to be possible to have be a guest at your show. That's great. Well, I'm just now 70 years old, and I've been doing this stuff since, well, close to childhood, actually. But the Hessdalen started back in 1983. So I was part of the group which decided to start Project Hessdalen, one of the founders back in 1983. But my personal interest started a little bit before, because when I was a student in 1970s, I got a big UFO sightings. It happened when I was walking home from my university, and in the middle of the day, and there was a flying disc going over my head.
Wow.
And the curious person I was made me, what is this? And that was I would say, this big start of it. And when this Hessdalen thing started, well, it started late 1981. Hessdalen is a small Norwegian valley in the middle part of Norway. It's about 10 miles long, and now it's about 100 people living there. Beautiful valley. Many people go up there to see the scenery and wildlife and everything. And also, some of them get some sightings of this phenomena too, if they are lucky. Well, this small valley started with a huge amount of sightings, where the local inhabitants started to tell about their stories, and then it came out in the press. So ordinary people, well, the press said it happens so much up there, so it's quite a good chance to see something. And people went up there in the early 80s to see if they could see it, and many people did see it for themselves.
Wow.
So I was also one of those in 1982. I remember my sightings very well. The first sightings up there, you were standing out in the wilderness, dark everywhere, and up in the mountains. And then suddenly, not so far away from you, well, anyway, it was very strong. And that made a big impression on me.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was working as a researcher, and I told about my sighting when I come back to work for my companion scientist, and they warned me that you shouldn't involve with UFO research. But I was curious, as I've always been, and I got the opportunity to find out, do a little bit more, and then started.
That's terrific. So, and thank you for your bravery and for your persistence. It's a good thing that we have people who are willing to do this kind of work. But look, it's just what the part that bothers me about scientists saying don't do this is I call them they're in the religion of scientism. Anything except this or that, because I don't believe in ignoring data. The data might be poor, it might be insufficient, but data is data, and it is a scientist's responsibility to look at data, especially and it's not anomalous phenomenon as the Hessdalen Lights. I mean, it's just amazing to me that people have that attitude.
Yeah, and here you had the opportunity to get some data. If
Lots.
you brought some instruments together with you and go out in the field, there was a pretty good chance that you could get some instrumentation readings, and that's great.
Well, tell us about the construction of the observatory and how all that went and how long it took. It doesn't look like, especially in that valley, that it was a trivial thing to do.
Hold on real quick. Why do you think that there were so many sightings in that one particular area? Do you have a thought on that, or?
Yeah, that is the big question. Why so much in that small area, that small valley? We don't know the answer, but we have done some investigation together with some geophysicists to look in the ground. Could it be something? Minerals, metals, magnetical thing, electrical thing, which is unusual. So they have done a lot of coverage or measurements, actually, in the whole valley. And this geophysicist from France and Greek, they said that there was some a little bit unusual values. They was very careful in putting it. But so the ground itself, well, first of all, there's a lot of minerals in it. It's Hessdalen is the valley, is the location in Norway with maybe most different kind of minerals in it. And you have old sulfur mine, you have old iron mines and copper mines, all such kind of stuff. So the ground itself, it's very interesting in that geophysics part too. But we don't know how these minerals and metals and everything like that can be in the position to make a light. How can that be? That's still a great mystery for us. So maybe there is something else.
I mean, I keep hearing these noises about the piezoelectric effect and all this, but I don't understand. I understand the piezoelectric effect. I mean, I was an amateur radio operator, and I had crystals in my radio, so I understand the piezoelectric effect. I don't understand how you get the dynamics of those lights flying through the valley from the piezoelectric effect. So something is making it dynamic. It's really interesting, Erling.
Yeah, and you have not only lights. We have different types of mostly lights, though, but we have also several observations in the daylight, where you talk about flying disc and cigar shapes object. And there are several of those stories as well. And if you compare, and we have split the different sightings in 3 or 4, actually, different categories. One is flashes, small flashes, but small in time, though. They can be big, they can be small, but it's very strong. so it's easy to get them on camera. But it can be difficult to see them because the lifetime can be even fraction of a second only, and that's too short for most people to see the light. But it's often long enough to make the brain, oh, was it something, or did I see something? Or I say, if you got that impression when you are standing out in the field, bring your camera up, because when these flashes started to show up, very often more flashes will come in a reasonable time. Well, that's type 1, we call it, or category 1 type. And the category 2 is the balls of light, different shapes, can last normally some minutes, sometimes hours. I think the longest time has been 2 hours we have measured. But these are strong lights. They can hover very close to the ground. If you're up in the mountains, when you see these lights down in the valley, you're actually looking down to them. So they are not far up in the sky. They're down in the valley. Sometimes, well, we have stories of people living there who have seen these going in front of their window in the middle of the night. One person, he said he was waking up in the middle of the night because it was so bright light inside his sleeping room.
Wow.
And he went to the window and saw this huge light slowly passing the windows outside.
Wow.
And they can also, these balls of light with different shapes, normally mostly yellow, sometimes with another color connected to it too as well. We have stories where they have something like spotlight. They can hover around, moving around in the valley, and turn on a spotlight going down to the ground as it is searching for something. That has happened too. And a funny story on one occasion, one happening, was when one observer was up in the mountain and saw this ball of light. He estimated to 2 to 3 meters in diameter, strong, sometimes illuminating the ground, moving around in the valley, stopping, etc., and then turning the spotlights on. And then turn the spotlight off, and moving around again, a new spotlight on. And this person was a little bit afraid, because he was afraid, what if these lights come up to my spot and turn the spotlight on to me? But luckily, this didn't happen. Well, there are several stories. Well, this type, category 2, with this yellow light, different shapes, different behavior. That was the first type which was seen and noticed. The third category is when you have several lights together, as if they are on to some kind of object. When you have several lights, when this has been seen, when it's not completely dark outside, they have explained as this light is on to a black object. So,
Huh.
but it's not, when it's completely dark, you don't see this black object. You see only there are different lights. And when they're moving, all move together. So they're obviously onto something, some object. We have decided to put that in one category 3, we call it. And the fourth one is the daylight, this daylight observation, object types, figure shapes, and so on. These are not so often. They are more seldom compared with the other different categories. So in the beginning, when we started the project back in 1983, and we had our first field work in winter 1984, we didn't take notice so much of this type 4, this daylight, because first of all, it was very seldom. We had only some few reports on it, but we hadn't seen it ourselves. And the second thing is we cannot be sure that it has something to do with the lights, though. You can, if you see these flashes light, blue normally, or these yellow balls of light, it's hard to believe that this is the same thing as these object types. And maybe the most important reason why we didn't bring that type into consideration or focus is that I wanted to have the science part with me, and you don't tell about the most such kind of stories. Well, in the beginning of the 1980s, you didn't.
Right.
So, but if you talked about strange light, unknown lights, then it was more easy to involve other scientists into it.
So, did you look at I know you have, I just don't remember the results. You took spectra of these light, right?
Yes, we have had several different kind of instruments up there. Among the thing is the optical spectrum. So we have had some few, not so many, luckily, with good luck, but we have some.
Did you see spectral lines in it?
Both yes or no. The most famous picture is a picture which you can see the spectrum as it is continuous. Maybe I should show it here.
Yes, please. So that's the thermal spectrum then.
Yes.
Wow.
That's let me see if the picture is coming up now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure did.
And this is a picture with a 30-second exposure time. And this, you see the movement of the light during the exposure, this up in the sky. But below down, you see the spectrum of it.
That is beautiful, Erling.
Yes, and it looks like continuous.
Yes, it is. It's the thermal spectrum.
Yes, that's right. And that is also one of the several mysteries of this thing. Well, there's a mystery that it is there, of course, but no one have ever felt any heat, even if they have been quite close to talking about 50 meters. And if it had been hot, as this spectrum indicate, then they would have felt this heat. But
so you're saying it didn't have much infrared content?
Yes, that's
Wow.
true. But it looks like a hot element.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it looks like a black body spectrum, but there's not enough infrared for you to feel heat. That's amazing. That is beautiful.
Yeah. So, this happening happened during one of our expeditions back in 2007. I think this picture was taken. It's quite famous. One of the expeditions. Maybe I should mention that we have had also several expeditions. I could maybe take away this picture now.
Yep.
So we don't. Yeah. Well, maybe a brief history of the project.
Please.
We started it in 1984, 83, and we had our first field work with a lot of instruments, a lot of people, close to 1 month up in the valley in January, February 1984, where we got a lot of readings of instruments, a lot of sightings, a very good expedition in that sense. And due to the good results, we decided to also take a new expedition the year afterwards, 85. But at that time, the number of observations has gone down drastically. And the weather was also bad during that period. So we got only one good sightings compared with more than 50 the year before. At that time, we cooperated with the Norwegian military and some scientists, which we managed to get involved. So it was a team of us who was working with this. That was in 84 and 85. After 85, we believed it had gone, mainly because, first of all, we got only one sighting during this long period in 85, and we didn't hear anything more from people living there about stories. But in 1993, the people up there wanted to know what had happened with the results back in 1984 and 85. So they wanted me to come up in the valley to tell them the gathering, and I did. And then after I have told about what we have done with the data, all the science conferences we have gone to, presentation and so on, and the growing interest in sciences, one local inhabitant came up to me and said, "Well, it still continues," he said. And I was a little bit surprised because I hadn't heard anything. And he said, "Well, we don't tell it anymore because we were so ridiculed in the first years. So we didn't want that anymore."
Right.
But anyway, that was enough for me to decide to start Project Hessdalen again. And at that time, I was working at Hessdalen University College, and I involved my students in the work and building an automatic station. And this was my students worked with that from 1994 when I decided to start a project. I put a lot of work for my students to build an automatic station, and they did. And in 1998, it was good enough to put it up in Hessdalen. And as you said, 1998, this consists of that time a camera, a recording system, sending out the internet, and so on. So that has been going from 1998. It's all the equipment is into a container. It's a blue container, So we call it the blue box. You don't know that. Well, that has given some data. The next thing is we involved younger students to go on to expedition, 1 week expedition out in the field, normally in September, together with their teachers. This was young students. In the beginning, we used 15 years old students, between 14 and 16 years old students. They went up there, the whole class from the school, together with their teachers, and staying up there 1 week with a lot of instruments, up in tents, up and so on. And they got also results, the cameras and everything. And we have done that every year since 2002
Awesome.
until 2019, when the COVID stopped it all. And we haven't started after that. But anyway, many expeditions, many years, and they have got several results. Maybe the picture I just showed you with the optical spectrum was from one of these, we call it science camp. So the young students was participating in science camp, where they had the instruments and cameras and they staying in tents and so on. And that picture was from one of these camps. It's quite popular. Maybe I could show you one video. They had cameras, they had videos, and the funny thing with this thing, well, this, if you remember the first picture I showed you with the optical spectrum, students had also video cameras with them as well, so they did take video of it. Let me see if I can get it
I think this is amazing and important. I think kids should do things like that.
Absolutely. They're getting to do a science experiment in the field.
From the TV and out in the world.
A lot of people don't think that observational science is awesome. Observational science is how you get data.
Well, now I will show you the movie that the students...
Okay, you need to move the clock back to the beginning, but I'll add it to the stage.
Å, fy fader! Jeg filmer det! Jeg har det på tape! Jeg har det her! Å, dæven!
Hva ser regnbuen? Hallo, jeg tok bilder.
Fy faen, det bare brent opp! Jeg zoomet, det bare splittet over flere...
Filmet du det?
Ja, jeg fikk det.
Yes, there you can hear the excitements of
They were so excited. That's fabulous.
Yes. So I think it would be good if more teachers can bring this young students out in the field where things are happening.
Absolutely. I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
That was terrific. I like the fact that you had multiple orbs there, and it looked like in the beginning you had 3 attached to some structure because of the way they moved.
Well, yes, the happening that started already. Well, this movie and this picture was taken at 10 p.m. But 40 minutes before that, it started with big flashes, strong flashes in the valley. Just one big flash, and then some minutes waiting, then a new flash, another location, and these flashes become shorter and shorter time between each flash. Until this outbreak, I call it outbreak, what you just saw on this movie with this light. And that happened at 10 p.m. And we had several stations. We had the radar showing up, pointing in that direction too, and so we had a lot of instruments, and so we could point exactly where this happening was. Maybe I could show you a map.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and ask the question.
Where this was. Let me see. Now you will see the map of this thing. If you see the red spot to the right, that's the location where the student was standing and filming and taking pictures. And you see the radar, the black thing a little bit further down with this. It should indicate the radar though, with the loops. And it was also pointing in the same direction. So we got it on the radar as well.
Fantastic.
And you see the bottom red point is another place where the students were. We had students out in the field during this science camp on 3 different spots. So 2 of them saw this light, so we could cross find where it was and how big it was covering.
Oh, yeah. You could, you could triangulate. Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah. The only station who didn't see it is what we call fin. So it's the red dot close to the middle or to the right part, because that was behind this high mountain.
Outcropping right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's we had several students up there, and there, of course, they got their lifetime experience of that.
I have a question about the flashes real quick. At any time, did the flashes ever make a sound, or were they always silent?
Flashes is silent.
Okay.
Did you ever detect an electromagnetic pulse?
Yes.
Ah, wow.
And we have a lot of different data. Let me see. We can remove this picture now because I have finished. Yep. You do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then if you want to stop streaming it, you can just click on the tab and say stop streaming it. I mean, sharing it.
Okay.
You can tell the tab to stop sharing it.
Okay. Well, these flashes don't normally make any sound. Well, very few or make any sound at all of these lights and objects. We have a few on this daylight disk. One famous observation with this daylight disk. I can show you that drawing of this observation, which was done in the let me see now if I
just asked because one time right after I had Xander, I was out at night alone and I saw a huge flash in the sky and it sounded like a pop, like a camera went off. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, this tree, this is a drawing, of course. It was a hunter who was hunting for birds up there with his rifle, and it was sunshine. And while he was walking, he felt something pressing. There was something in the air. He felt so, and then suddenly he see shadows coming in front of him on the ground, and they turn around and look up and see these 3 disc shapes object, and they last for some seconds, not so very many seconds. After a very short time, they all three split onto the edge with the bottom here to the front and disappear very fast. He explained that he heard some kind of something like that when he was looking at it.
Wow.
So, do you think the little stubby looking tree like thing is some kind of antenna or something like that? I mean, it looks like it might be a little antenna.
Yeah, could be, of course.
And of course, everybody thinks those things beneath are gravity amplifiers. These are amazing.
This is fun.
Yeah.
This is
I'm glad
amazing.
you
Erling.
came on. This is awesome.
So I had not seen this piece of it. This is amazing, Erling.
Yeah. Well, I could mention that this hunter, after this happening up in the valley, he sold his rifle. Had never ever gone hunting anymore.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me ask you this. In all this time, have you ever had someone who's seen this stuff that felt like or detected that they were in communication in any method, by any means?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I wondered if there was a consciousness aspect to this.
Yes, that is also. We have there, there's so much data we have written. I've written it on the website so people can read. I have more than 500 written reports. It's a lot of stuff, though. But on some of them, this explaining this kind of communication. But this observer who got this observation, he didn't tell what kind of information he got. But he said there was some kind of information. Mainly
and Geiger counter readings?
Luckily, no. We have had Geiger counter up there, but not any readings on that.
Good.
But of course, it doesn't tell that this light isn't radioactive. Because with the Geiger counter, you have to be quite close to the source to make some kind of readings. And we have never been that close enough with our Geiger counter. So, but anyway, we haven't had any readings on the Geiger counter.
And I put your website in the chat room when it decides to work.
Let me see. I can see if I can put this on.
He can share the tab.
Remove from studio. Okay.
There you go.
There it goes. Yeah. Well, based on more than 500 reports, and every report is out on my website, hessdalen.org, and this hessdalen.org. I have the old hessdalen.org. So if you put the word old.hessdalen with 2 S, hessdalen.org, then you get to this old website. There's a new website out now where all the new things we're doing. For instance, we have new equipment in the blue box, etc. So that is to the www.hessdalen.org. But there's also a new leader now. I've been leading this for 40 years, so I need to have something new on. And he's very clever. Fred Pallesen is his name. and he is running this new website as well. A lot of activities there too with the new cameras. So that's exciting what he has been doing. But so the new blue box, or the new stuff in the blue box, have, for instance, 2 cameras up now, record everything, makes every 20 minutes is made into one picture, and these pictures are put onto the net every day, so people can go in there and have a look. Go from the Hessdalen.org, the old not old, but the new www.hessdalen.org, and there it's possible to find the recordings done every night.
Can we click it in here so
Yeah,
pop
yeah.
it up?
I'm gonna type it in here so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
New what?
Make sure I typed the name right. Did I? No, I didn't. I typed the name. I
now,
did.
Let's see. It's Hessdalen.
Is it spell it for me and I'll put it in there.
www. Dot Hessdalen project. If you look at the sign, Project Hessdalen, you write only Hessdalen.org.
Yeah, I think I got it right. But let me do this. I'll need to share it.
Yeah, because then everybody can just grab it up real quick.
Here we go.
Because this is important.
Oh, this is look, I mean, your dedication to this is just fantastic. Yeah, I mean, because you've just done it for so long and so completely, brought in other people, let them play, let them observe, brought in students. It's fantastic, Erling, because not many people that have been involved in the phenomenon would cover it in such a way that they involve many people, educate students, involve them in experiential learning, so they get to participate in doing the actual experiments. This is terrific.
What's the, out of all the years you've been doing this, what's the one thing that you learned that you'll always remember that sticks out the most to you?
What do you say? What?
Out of all the years that you've done this, what's something that you've learned from this that will always stand out the most to you?
I have learned a lot during these more than 40 years I've been doing this. It has been, I've been talking with so many different interesting people, scientists which are into this. We have involved scientists as well out with our fieldworks out up in Hessdalen. And to work with this, you get a bigger understanding of how our world is working. I am sure that we know only a fraction of what we know only a fraction of our knowledge about our world. And the physical thing is only one small thing in our whole world. And I've learned a lot that I'm still learning also. So I would encourage people to do, and if you do work out in the field yourself, it's very exciting if you have a spot though. But I could mainly mention that I'm also into what people are. Well, I'm very sensitive which many people are, parapsychology and so on. And I should mention that in the beginning, I didn't take so much focus on happening. I thought it was imagination in the beginning, and I was doing science, so I didn't take so much focus on that. But after one happening, when I didn't only see it or feel it, but I could hear it with sound as well. So both see and hear. And then I understand, well, it is something. And after I then realized that maybe I should take a little bit more focus on this, which I believed was just imagination or something. Maybe I should have a little bit more focus. And I did. And then more of it comes.
Right.
But so I think if people don't, I think many people have such abilities or have that possibility to feel and see things. But I would also guess that several don't think of it. They don't maybe don't dare to focus on it. But if they do, I'm sure they will learn a lot of that too.
Like you, I did not speak of all of that until I retired. You did before, but I waited till I retired.
Yes.
I mean, because this, just to tell you, Erling, both of us are regular experiencers, and she has experienced abductions. So, I mean, it's, we are, and she has an implant that you can detect. I detected an RF emitter in the center of her forehead. I mean, so, we understand.
Yeah.
But I also understand keeping it quiet. But we're in a new era. We're in a different time. People are discussing it now.
Yeah. And that's a great step forward in the right direction. In the beginning, when we involved the scientists back in the 80s, we have to be careful what kind of words we did. We didn't call it UFO. In the beginning, we called it UFO. But when I tried to go to the university and talk with the professors and involved them, and when I used the word UFO, no. But later I learned, don't use the word UFO. We made a new word, Hessdalen phenomena, which you maybe have heard of, and that made it much more easy than the word UFO. And it was more easy to discuss this topic. We call it the Hessdalen phenomena. We talked about unknown light phenomena and so on. And then it was suddenly more accepted as a scientific field.
Let me ask you a question. So within this, what are the lights across the valley?
That's the station at the mountain you see in below the main light.
Yep.
Below there's a light you see. That's the light from the observatory.
Okay.
We had three stations. One from where this picture was taken, and the second one is where you see in the picture, and the third one was further to the left, to the south, though, which was able to see the light, so we could correlate where it was. So, that's the light from the station.
Okay, so from 1980s till 2025, give us an estimate of how many people have been involved in this. When we're visiting, participating, how many? It has to be in the hundreds.
Oh, yes. We have had students, several hundred different students, only students though. We have had scientists who have been active out in this field, done work. It's not that many though, but from different countries, from different scientific background and so on. So we have some few scientists. We have had conferences up there, also with different kind of scientists participating in. So, well, put it, I would guess, close to 1,000.
Yeah, I was going to say my number was too little. It's got to be 1,000. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Erling, that is a life well lived.
Yes, and people had asked me, as you did, how could you do this for so long time? And I say it's so exciting.
Yes, it is.
It's if you go to see a cinema or movie, exciting, or you're doing something fun, exciting. This is exciting all the time.
Yeah.
And if you want to rest, you go inside and have a cup of coffee if you want and talk with people.
Yeah.
But if you want to have some excitement, go to such places. Travel there. It's a long distance from my place, 500 kilometers.
We have at least this much reason to feel a little bit guilty.
Well,
All we have to do is walk out on our deck and we can see stuff.
but also doing this, a lot of people think, oh, it's probably boring or lonely. No, it's very comforting, exciting. I don't feel alone. I feel you can, like you said, you can feel them.
Oh yeah.
And they can feel you. That's why they act, when you pay attention,
And
like you said, they come around more.
like one of the people you mentioned, they come inside the house here.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, I will not forget. She was sitting at our dining room table and I was over on the couch and she went, oh, and an orb that big flew across the deck right near our sliding glass
I
door.
caught part of it on video.
We got it on video. It was pretty amazing. We have automated cameras that capture this stuff. So
And I think he's supposed to do this. Like this was one of his calls.
no, this was definitely a calling. I mean, you don't pursue something for 50 years and it not be a calling.
Yeah. But you are some of those who are accepting this as a real phenomena and are open enough to be able to see them. And that's it. And I also got the impression that some people see it more easily. We have had groups up in Hessdalen where most of the people in the group see it, but there are some who don't see it. So there are
in my case, it's they regularly tease us with fleeting appearances. So occasionally I'll go out and it'll be mostly cloudy, and they'll dip out of the clouds and dip back in, and they'll be out there for 1 or 2 seconds, but they're so bright you can't miss it. But I already knew what direction to look in.
Yeah.
Because it was there for a second and I was already looking. I mean, you get the feeling after a while that they're summoning you to come take a look.
Oh,
and there must be some knowledge what is the physics or the science to how should we, and the feelings or whatever. How could we understand this better?
Yeah.
I think it's very important to understand what is going on, first of all, for ourselves, though, but also maybe for the whole the world. In fact, for instance, one question: where does this energy come from? In this light illuminating the ground hours sometimes.
That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of
A
energy.
lot of energy.
Yeah.
What kind of energy? Where does it come from? Is there a hidden energy of some kind? Well, I think the study of this phenomena is important, very important.
Have you had anyone claim that the plasma orbs are alive?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have pictures of orbs here and taken elsewhere. We can see things inside the orbs in the pictures. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Well, this statement is actually very popular. Starting to be more people are talking about this now. Consciousness inside everything.
Yeah.
And if everything is consciousness, what kind of worldview will that make for you? And what kind of interaction do you do with your surrounding when you know that's the case?
People can go to the website, but can you think of something that we need to tell our audience that's coming up with Hessdalen in the near future?
Yes, I think we have organizing what we call a field trip in September. So if they go to Hessdalen website, there's a sign you can see field trip 2025. I will go there, and the new leader, Fred Pallesen, will go there. We are planning to bring instruments out in the field, cameras with us. So we had an expedition, like an expedition we had with the students, much of the same. But when we had this, the idea of bringing ordinary people out there, people who are interested. Well, now they have a change. Go to hessdalen.org, click on Field Trip 2025, and you'll meet me there, and also probably something exciting too.
Well, especially if you come and open your heart and your mind, you say, "Look, we're here. We're open to you. Please come." It'll help. It'll definitely help.
Yeah, that's one thing. And maybe another thing I should mention, that it's possible to become a member of Project Hessdalen.
Oh, that's very good.
Yes, if you pay a small fee, $5 a month. I think most people can afford that.
One cup of coffee a day at Starbucks.
Yes. Then you help us to run the station. When I was working at this university college, I used my student. My university college paid most of the equipment and so on, because I used my students. But now I'm retired, don't have any students anymore. We have to cover every expenses ourselves. And those who become a member or do a contribution in one kind or the other, which help us manage the cost of this, and also help us to bring new instruments in. We have been able to buy these new cameras, which is quite good. 2 new cameras, which are running all the time, recording all the time. You can actually study the pictures. Everyone can do that. Every morning, new pictures are coming and so on. We are also hoping to have more instruments in there too. But of course, we need to have some money. So I hope many members can help us do that.
Do you have, you know how Amazon has a wish list? Do you have something where if someone wanted to just buy one piece of equipment, they could? Do you have something like that?
Yeah, if we have a discussion group in Discord, We have a new technical boss now. It's not me doing this stuff or my students doing this anymore. New clever people, team of people who are doing this. And on Discord, everyone can go in there to Hessdalen, Discord Hessdalen, and then they will participate in the discussion of what kind of instruments we need.
Okay.
Erling, I wanted to tell you how much I honor your work and your dedication to this, and it is a true honor to have you on our show.
I wish you'd come back again sometime. This is really nice, actually.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being possible to be at your show.
Thank you. And everyone, please check out the website that we put in the chat. And if you $5 a month, come on, people. People can afford $5 a month. And so with that, thank you and good afternoon or good evening, depending on where, or good morning, depending on where you are. This was one interesting show. I'm so happy we did it. Take care, Erling.
Thank you.
Thank you.